What happens when the life you're currently living doesn't match the ideal you dreamed about and thought you would have by now? Hi, you're watching Elevate with Emily. I'm a marriage and family therapist, and I want to talk about the stigmas and hardships around being single in today's world. These conversations have come up through listening to the Soloist podcast, through talking to other young adults in my church, and through conversations that I've had with clients who also struggle with these exact same things. You are not alone, and I invite you to join me in this important conversation. In today's video, we're going to continue to explore this notion of I need to wait till I'm married for my life to begin. This can be a trap that we fall into, especially in the church, where we have this idea that marriage is what makes us mature, that marriage is where we find our one and only partner for the rest of our life, and we're going to settle into our house together. And so until then, we don't know who we're going to be with. We don't know where we're going to end up. And so why buy a house or live on our own? However, that is something out of our control. And so we can get a lot of anxiety in this ambiguous waiting period. We're waiting for something that we have no control over happening. We can't rush it. And so in the meantime, we can feel like we're stuck, that our life is meaningless. I attended a young single adult conference in Utah last month, and Sister Sharon Eubank shared a beautiful quote. She talked about how marriage is not the rite of passage to maturity in the church. Your temple endowment is. That is something that you can 100% control, the covenants that you make with God. And that is the biggest sign of maturity and of your life starting as you progress into adulthood. It is so common among 18 to 35, even 40-year-olds to feel like they're not quite yet adults. Doesn't matter if they have kids or not, doesn't matter if they're dating or not, doesn't matter if they're financially independent or not. There is this theme. They don't feel like real adults. And I feel like we're all waiting to become adults, and we don't even know what we're looking for or waiting for, whether that's more money until we feel like we're an adult, or a marriage until we feel like an adult, or children until we feel like an adult. And I want to join with you and kind of explore, what am I waiting for? And why am I waiting for that? What is holding me back from being an independent, capable adult, adulting in today's world? What messages are making me feel less than or like I'm not enough to take care of myself and take care of others? Why does my own happiness seem out of my control? Growing up, I always pictured that ideal, right? I would grow up, go to college, go on a mission for my church, and get married and start a family. When I was 16 or 17 years old in a young women's program, we would do this thing, where do you picture yourself in 5 years? And I don't know if it was pressure from messaging around me or just my own ideals, I don't know, but I always thought, I'm going to be married. I'm going to have maybe a kid, maybe two by the time I'm 23, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21. 21, okay, well. But in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, where do you picture yourself? And it was always married to someone and working on having kids. I did always want to be a counselor from a young age, from second grade, I think I said. And so that was always in the picture, but it was this notion of, I'll go to college and get that degree so I can use it later. And in the meanwhile, I'll have kids and a family that I'm raising. And when my kids are older, maybe I could work part-time as a therapist. And then when my kids are out of the house, then I can do it in my retirement ages as more of a hobby or something that's fulfilling. Well, little did I know, 16-year-old me, 10 years later, I'm still single. I don't have a husband or children. And this career that I always pictured being part-time was now this full-time thing. And I never pictured myself working full-time. Yet here I am doing this, living this life that I never thought I would be living, that never matched up with those ideals that I had when I was young. And there's a part of me that wants to go back to that younger self and say, hey, in the next 10 years, what do you want out of life? How do you want to grow? If you are alone for the next 10 years, because you're going to be, what do you want to accomplish? Marriage and family, that is a great goal. That is a great dream. But what do you want outside of that? I don't have any regrets because honestly, I just graduated like 8 months ago with my master's. And so it's like, holy cow, like I've just finally gotten the tail end of that dream of getting all that education and becoming a therapist. But now as I'm looking forward, like, okay, well, like I'm still waiting for this whole marriage thing. I've had to recognize, okay, well, this is the life I'm living. And I always put my life on hold. Like, okay, I'll do those things after I graduate from school. I'll do those things after my mission, after I'm graduated, once I have my master's. And now it's like, okay, I have my master's. What's my next dream? I don't really know. And so I can feel stuck so often. And just recently, I had this thought hit me, this impression. Plan the next 5 years of your life as if you're going to be single. And then, hey, if something comes along and you're not single in those next 5 years, you can adjust your plans accordingly. However, if I truly am still single in the next 5 years of my life, I want to look back and have accomplished some dream or some goal that motivated me, that brought me joy. That was such a freeing thought for me to realize, what goal can I have to grow personally, to make an impact on the world, to connect with others? Where do I want to go? What do I want to do? What do I want to save my money for? Because I'm not just saving it for marriage and a house and kids, because that's not something in my control. And if I'm waiting for that and putting my life on hold for that, I'm going to continue to feel stuck and lonely and miserable. And yes, saving money is a good idea. I'm not just saying throw caution to the wind and spend everything on yourself and be super selfish, but this is the time for your self-growth. This is the time for you to feel like you have a personal ministry. Something that I really loved while listening to the soloists is they brought up a really great point about other religions, how they literally have a profession or calling within their church where they swear to be single for the rest of their life. They take on this vow of celibacy and honor being single so that they can fully give themselves to Christ. And in that religion, it's this honored, noble thing. So then why is it such a shameful thing in other religions? What can I do in the next 5 years to dedicate myself to Jesus Christ and to the world, making it a better, more holy, more uplifting place? And that thought sparked so much creativity in my head. And I started journaling and writing down things I would want to do and see and learn. And it sparked so much joy that I have been missing for a while, just being bogged down by these worldly and negative messages about being stuck and not being enough and just being less than other people and living some shameful less than life because I wasn't living with a partner and having children. I know that you have so much to accomplish, that you have so much joy yet to feel and experience. And with the joy comes those periods of loneliness and hardship, of course, opposition in all things, right? But you have so much goodness to offer that you are not even aware of yet. What do you want to accomplish in the next 5 years? What do you want to learn about yourself, about other cultures, about other people, about the world and technology? Your life starts now. What are you going to do with it? I would love to know, so please comment below and let's continue on this conversation. I'll see you next time.